All right, thank you for all that have joined us so far. This is Omar with DEX, and I've got our wonderful partner Liquidware here on today's webinar. We're continuing our sequence of webinars with Liquidware, since Liquidware are experts in everything, Windows, Microsoft Windows, and managing user experience. Last time we focused on FlexApp and managing application, being able to layer applications and minimizing our golden image, having a much easier way to handle applications within an organization. Today, we're going to look a little bit more at the aspect of user experience and how to optimize the user experience based on data that we collect. So Liquidware have a couple of solutions around this, being Stratusphere and a newer product called CommandCTRL. So it'll be wonderful to learn about these. So from Liquidware, we're actually very lucky to have a few experts today. Our good friend Pierre Marmiot, who's the engineer. He's a lead engineer. He's always, the one supporting us with our clients here in the Middle East. We have James O'Regan, who's a voice that's very well known in the EUC and end user computing in the VDI space. Very active. I recommend everyone to follow him on social media. He's always spreading a lot of what's happening in the EUC field. And as well, we have Thomas Laossois, who's an engineer, really has deep expertise into everything Windows, and will also be supporting us in the webinar. We have also Sonia, who's more on the commercial side of Liquidware. She's been super supportive, and Nadir from the DEX side. One thing that makes me very happy is the partnership with Liquidware has been going almost for a decade between DEX and Liquidware, I think 2015. So we're like 9 years, and it's been a wonderful partnership, really a lot of trust. And I honestly, I haven't seen a more supportive vendor than Liquidware. So it's, anyone that we work with, we end up having a great experience, just supporting throughout the POC and having, really simplifying things for the client. So today is going to be a continuation of that. So I think we can dive right into it. And I think, Pierre, you're going to start with the presentation.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Omar, for this introduction. Let me just share my screen. Hopefully you may all see it. And for the people who were already following us for the DEX journey, we started with our partner, distributor, DEX in late April this year. We have decided to create a series we are calling the DEX journey. So we had a step one, which was deliver. We were talking about our product, FlexApp and Profile Unity. Today, we are in a step two, and we are talking, as Omar mentioned it, about monitoring, ensuring quality, and getting the feedback from the end user. So here you've got just a presentation of the different profiles we have at this session. Omar already mentioned all the people who are presenting. And for people who miss our webinar in late April and who still wants to test our FlexApp solution, FlexApp 1, well, you can scan directly this QR code. And of course, you will get this presentation in the package Omar and DEX will send at the end of the session. So as we're talking about DEX, the journey to DEX, digital employee experience, with Liquidware, we want to cut first through a lot of noise talking about DEX. Why do you care about DEX? Well, you care about DEX because of different elements. Those different statements here are coming from the Gartner report They issued late 2023. And so UDEX will affect different points like revenues, costs. DEX is not only about rating, it's also about satisfaction, having employees being able to work correctly in their environment. And it's also clearly a way, it's reflecting a change in the user expectation, but also how the administrator are consuming resources, using resources, and IT resources. So for this webinar, we have our one and only James O'Regan, who will do the presentation, who will go through all the steps and all the different elements we have at Liquidware in order to help to deliver the correct DEX for the end user and the administrator. I will ask you to put all your questions in the chat. We will go through those questions at the end of the presentation, as probably a few of those questions will be already answered during the presentation of James. And at the end, we will collect the different questions and try to answer them with James and Thomas we have in our session. The webinar will end in an hour from now, so at 2 p.m. for my time, 1 p.m. for James' time. It's going to be 8 a.m. for Thomas, and for you, the attendees, it's going to be 4 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. So as you can see, there's
if you're in Dubai.
Yeah, sorry. So there's a lot of different regions who are concerned by this webinar. Very happy to have you all. And James, I'll leave you the stage for this presentation.
Perfect. Thank you, Pierre. Let me just share my screen here. It's going. All right. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay. Firstly, thank you to DeXLogics for the invite today. My name is James O'Regan. I am a product marketing manager at Liquidware, and I look after our monitoring and remediation solutions. So what we're talking about today is all around DEX, and just to kind of, I'll give you a brief overview of what we're going to do. So it's going to do an just brief intro, then we'll do an overview. So let's look at what we do at Liquidware. So Liquidware, we believe at Liquidware, we have the most complete DEX coverage. We have 4 different solutions for all the different elements of DEX. That starts with FlexApp. FlexApp is very much focused on delivering DEX. And as Pierre mentioned, we did a previous webinar and we talked all about FlexApp. So FlexApp delivers DEX with our dynamic applications, and then that integrates with our UEM solution, which is Profile Unity. And Profile Unity is all about managing DEX. Because if you think about it, how your profile and your desktop experience is delivered is a huge part of how your employee experience. So that's where Profile Unity comes in. And today we're going to focus on our monitoring and remediation solutions. So firstly, we start with Stratusphere. So Stratusphere, what it does, it monitors and optimizes DEX, and it has so much data and analytics, and you can do the whole kind of life cycle of digital workspace progress. And then we have our newest solution. Last year in August at VM Explore in Las Vegas, we launched CommandCTRL. So CommandCTRL is a real-time remediation solution, and it's about controlling DEX. So what it does is it gives you all of that data in real time, and a whole series of tools around remediation, so you can immediately resolve issues. So cutting down that time to resolution for incidents, and kind of, it's very much focused on where we are in EUC at this moment, which is all about kind of work from anywhere. CommandCTRL differentiates completely from our other solutions as it's a fully SaaS solution. So all of our other solutions can be hosted in cloud or on-prem, but CommandCTRL is completely SaaS based. So and I'll go into more detail about it later, but one of the things also is there's no infrastructure. It's just there. It takes a couple of minutes to set up. You deploy an agent, it starts sending all that data to our control plane. So, but what I'm going to show today is we're going to talk about Stratusphere, and the thing about Stratusphere, it integrates with command control. So let's continue. So we've talked about DEX. So I just wanted to, before we kind of, what is DEX? And there's all different explanations, and this is just one I found. So it's all about the quality of employee interactions with their workspace, digital tools, and technologies. So it's all about that employee experience and how, getting the best experience for the employee. But as kind of administrators, how do you determine that? Well, this is where Stratusphere comes in. So I'm going to talk today about Stratusphere UX 6.7. This was released in April of this year, and it kind of has enhanced all of what we previously delivered with our previous versions of Stratusphere. So what we've done, these are some of the kind of areas I'm going to highlight. So what we've done is we've done some changes to the user interface. And you'll see that, we've reorganized it. We've got tab-based navigation. We've got overview dashboards. We've got detail views. And then this is a brand new feature, is our DEX User Sentiment Surveys. So Stratusphere has always given you in-depth data about what's going on with the machine and all of that kind of things, whether that's CPU, RAM, disk, network, all of that kind of stuff. So what we've decided that we needed the user insights. So we have so I'll go into more detail in it, but essentially what we do is we have a small survey that pops up, and the user can give their kind of feedback on how their experience is. And then I'll show you how we can use that along with the data around the machine, and we can get a complete holistic overview of what's going on. So another thing is, one of the things that our customers always say is they really like is our log on breakdown. So we decided that well, why don't we give them log off breakdown as well? And it was something that several customers asked us for. So we give you that same kind of detailed overview of our log off that we've always given with login. And profile metric containers. So obviously, as we've talked about profile unity, but we don't just do profile unity. We can give you metrics on FS logics as well. So you can get metrics around what's going on, how the size of your profile container, is it getting too large, that kind of things. And then again, around this whole kind of work from anywhere scenario, we've got machine internet connectivity. So we give you kind of information that lets you determine is the issue related to the local internet connection. Like, as we've seen, the user's local Wi-Fi is very much an extension of the corporate network. And then finally, we've got command control integration. So I'll show you how we integrate with command control, and I'll give an overview of command control as well. So, and just a couple of other things. So we have always had the main kind of remote display protocol metrics, and we've added vision frame to that. Everything's about AI these days. We've already got support for NVIDIA GPUs. Well, we've added AMD as well. And then we've made some changes around some security related stuff as well. And we're supporting the Firefox browser as well. So let's look at, we'll start here with is our overview dashboard. And when I go through the demo, I'll show you this live as well. But essentially, this is just a summary of everything that's going on and kind of your key performance indicators in the environment. So you can see all of the different things, and it's very nicely laid out. And as I said in the demo, I'm going to go into more depth about this. So, and then we have like our individual views. So it's very much a kind of a task manager like view, and it gives you an overview of all the different factors affecting a single machine, as opposed to kind of an overview. And then, as I said, we've got the kind of our detailed views, which is all about kind of giving you all of that data so you can, go through it yourself. So yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit, as I said, about our user sentiment surveys. So we've always kind of quantified user experience, and we've there's been a lot of change, and DEX has become such a huge thing in the market. So what we wanted to do is kind of ensure that we covered that kind of user sentiment side of things. So as I said, we've always given you all that kind of data around what's going on with the user's machine and that, and we wanted the kind of the user input as well. So what we've done is we have a Windows notification based application. So end users provide feedback. It's, there's a little smiley face. It's good, fair, poor. The timing is fully customizable. It's set to kind of not be very intrusive. And then kind of if you give, say, a fair or poor, it asks you follow-up questions. And it kind of just kind of gives you that insight into what's going on with the user. So as you can see here on screen, it pops up. Second, this thing is my way. So how do you rate your experience? As I said, we've got our smiley faces. You can click on it. And then if you do fair or poor, it gives you more input. So you can get that more granular detail on this. And then, as I said, in our detailed views, and I'll show this again live, that you can get an overview of what's going on. So we talked about log off breakdown briefly. So, obviously at log off, there's a lot of cleanup and your profile and data synchronization occurs, and these times can take time and are critical that it completes properly. So we kind of wanted to kind of have that detailed insight like we had with our logon breakdown. So we collect all the processes, events, status, and we kind of give that same level of detail that we've always given with logon. As you can see here, as I said, it gives you all of the different factors that determine what's going on with the log off and where any kind of blocks or issues may occur, preventing a quicker log off. So as I said, we talked about profile container metrics. We can do comparisons between Profile Unity and FSLogix. We can determine when you need to compact a container. Other companies such as ControlUp only do FSLogix. What do we collect? We get container version and path, average and max space. All of these different factors that allow you to kind of look at your profile containers. So you can see here, we've got FSLogix containers and we can give you all that kind of data around them. So machine internet connectivity, very much, identify problems with latency to routers or DNS servers, problems with upload or download, all those kind of issues that could be determined, with maybe you're having issues with your home network or wherever you're working, and just kind of gives you those insights in it. So we collect the latency to the machine's gateway, the DNS, we have speed tests as well. And again, it's all about kind of giving you that data that can help determine the issue more quickly. Again, it gives you the location, the machine name, what the operating system is, the external IP, the ISP provider, maximum speed, all of these kind of different things that kind of give you that overview so you can quickly determine. Like anything, we have users come in and say, oh, this is slow, or, this is not working. And you go, actually, look, well, I can see that your download speed is really slow, and that's causing an issue. So, you need to look at your own. So just again, to help with that whole kind of, it's not the whatever VDI or DAS platform issue, it's actually a local issue. So again, all about that kind of quicker resolution. So as we said, Stratusphere very much focused on getting that kind of detailed diagnostics. But if you want that kind of real-time insight, this is something that Stratusphere has not been able to do. But now what we have is the ability to go from Stratusphere into command control and kind of get access to those real-time metrics and all of the remediation tools which are built into command control. And it's very seamless. So here you are in an individual view in Stratusphere. We have this real-time button. You click the real-time button and away it launches command control. Obviously, you need to have signed up for a command control tenant. So that's enough PowerPoint for the moment. So I'm going to switch over and I'm going to go through the demo. So just give me 1 second. Okay, so as I said, here we have Stratusphere with our new tabs. We've got overview, diagnostics, we've got inventory, reports, and advanced. So we start with our summary tab. This gives you an overview of, as you see, I've got it filtered on all machines, all users. These are kind of the key performance indicators of Stratusphere. So it's this kind of holistic look at your environment. Right. And what I can do here is, I can sort by, it's done by default. You can do a custom sort, you can do alphabetical, ascending, descending, or you can do by severity, low to high or high to low. And then you also have the ability to go say when you want it for. Do you want it for the last hour, 8 hours, up to the last 30 days, or you can do a custom one as well. So at the moment, I have this just set to a month. As I said, it gives you that kind of overview of everything that's kind of affecting, the key performance indicators for your environment. But the great thing about this is, if I start with this one, machines by UX, and then I can click on it. And then and this is the other thing we have now with 6.7 is we have this little pop-up that actually explains what this is. So I've gone into, say it says overview, displays high-level views of user experiences, resources. So it gives you kind of that detailed, and you can hide it, or it will keep popping up explaining what's going on. And we also have explanations here. So look, this is machines by user experience. So, it gives us information about display counts rated by average UX score, and then all of the kind of factors that affect that score. So it could be, login delays, application time counts, CPU core counts, RAM, all these different factors, and you can kind of just get an overview, or you can even get it by machine. You can see here, I've got a list of all the machines, and I can see all of what's in graphical form here in a machine view here. And as I said, we can sort this. You can set it to, a specific grouping of machines, or, in a particular geographical location or anything like that. And that just gives you that summary. And I can also do it if I go to resources. So, again, I've got this pop-up explaining what's going on here. And we've got things like, we've got CPU contention counts. So if I click on that, again, it tells me everything that is affecting my CPU contention. And, you can dig even further. So I can go into, CPU percentage, and then everything around that. It will tell me more information again, CPU percentage by clock speed, by cores, by monitors, all these different factors. And you're just able to drill in and get that kind of really detailed analysis of what's going on. So as I said, if I had, as I said, I talked about the diagnostics. So with the diagnostics, you've got your detailed views. And as I said, we looked at our DEX User Sentiment Surveys, and what we had there was, we had that good, fair, poor, and then you can get more information. So here you can see here, you've got a side-by-side comparison. You've got your DEX feedback, and then you have your UX score and all the factors that affect your UX score. And you can do a side-by-side comparison and see if someone's having an issue. Like this one, see Walker, you can see there's an application load time issue. So you could dig deeper into that and but put that user to set up as good. So I suppose, while it's saying you have the kind of the analytical side to back up or determine that maybe, a user has just quickly clicked on it and said, oh yeah, it's fine. But in fact, you can proactively look at it and maybe resolve an issue for the user in the background. And the great thing here is in these kind of detailed views is you can save them, or you can save this view. So then you have it. You can also share it with someone. So if you wanted someone to have this as a view that they could look at on a daily basis, you can share that. You can save it. And you don't have to reload and filter it every day. You have it saved to the way you have, and you can turn off and edit all of these columns to whatever you want to be looking at in that kind of detailed views. So yeah, so that's just kind of one aspect of it. You're kind of giving that detailed overview. And then if we look at our individual views, so this is very much kind of a help desk overview. So if I pick a machine, bear with me 1 second. Go here. I go to my individual view. So you can see here, it's loading up my overview. So it starts with my summary. So it gives me my machine details. It gives me my operating system, my display graphics, my CPU utilization, my RAM, my disk network. Gives us a summary of the processes running, and it gives me my user experience and if the machine has a GPU. But again, what I can do is that's just the summary view. I've then got my CPU view. So again, it gives me that breakdown of CPU. What are the top processes by CPU, by GDI, all these kind of different factors. And I can do this across RAM, tells me my RAM utilization, and you can see these nice graphs, and it gives me my peak, my average peak, my page file utilization, page pool, all of these different factors. So you've got that really kind of detailed overview. I can do the same with disk. I can look at my disk overall allocated, what I've used, what are the processes, my IO rates, all my read, my writes, my IOPS, all my latency. So it really helps with that troubleshooting. Again, same thing with network. Look at how all that's going. What's the top process? And you can even do it by applications and processes. You look at all the different applications. So that's kind of our individual and detailed views. And as I said, I could do this. I'm doing this for obviously one individual user. So that kind of help desk overview. Right. So what's next? So as I said, we kind of looked at that. That's kind of a brief overview of what we've done. So we can go back to our overview. So one of the things, obviously, is what we've been doing is another thing we can do is what I could show you is our kind of our new UI, which is going to be coming later in the year. And what we've tried to do is we've tried to kind of modernize it and streamline our UI. So if I click on this button here, so you can see what we're going to be moving to. And you see, it's very much going to be based on a side toolbar with all the different sections. If I click on overview, if I click on summary, I get the same kind of look and feel. One of the great things I'm really excited about by this is we get dark mode, because I have everything I do in dark mode. It is so this is really exciting for me. As you can see, I'm there's all the white's gone. It's nice and dark, so my eyes are happy, and you can get that kind of same overview as we had. So this is going to be coming, and it kind of ties in. You'll see when we switch to command control now in a minute, that essentially which has the same kind of sidebar along the side. So as I said, Stratusphere very much focused on that kind of detailed analysis. You could look at, say, if you're running an on-prem environment, you could look at all of the kind how your performance is across your machines in those environments. And then if you move to a DaaS environment, you can compare the two and see what factors are kind of affecting performance. If there is anything affecting performance, is performance better? All of that kind of thing. So you can get that kind of detailed overview. So,
James, it
okay.
looks like, I mean, we're drilling into so many different areas, and we're actually, have the ability now to be proactive in terms of
Yeah,
addressing
exactly.
any
And
issues.
absolutely, yes, yeah, you really do. And we're kind of giving you so many insights that you can react proactively. And when I show the interaction, you can actually then utilize command control to take action. So you can determine what the action is in Stratusphere, and then you can actually take the action in command control. So I'm going to show that now in a second. So spare me 1 second. So
There's a lot of scenarios playing in my head. One of those is the migration to Windows 11. Knowing exactly what you're working with before you migrate to Windows
exactly, yeah.
11.
Yeah, because one of the things, there's a whole kind of reporting engine built in, and you could look at and determine. Obviously, we all know for Windows 11, they're locking down what the CPU generations are. So, like, I have an old XPS 13, which shouldn't really run Windows 11. Like most things, there's a way of getting it to work. But if I'm working in a corporate environment and I've got like 500 of these laptops, I want to know, will I be able to migrate them to Windows 11? And Stratusphere can absolutely, give you an overview and say, this is the CPU and this is the gen version that it's running. And these are all the machines that are going to be affected. So then you can determine, right, what is my course of action about these machines for, as you said, for migration to Windows 11. So yeah, it kind of gives you those insights as well. So yeah, just bear me 1 sec. So we'll just go back to the overview. Yes, back. Okay, so yeah, as I said, like, one of the things is we've got all of these reports, and that's just one of them. But you have a whole listing of reports here around. Yeah, there you go. We've got a Windows migration report, Windows server reports, all of these kind of reports that are built in that can help giving you that kind of insights, and then you can take them and they can be outputted as XLS, and then you can manipulate them. We have one of the things, and this is an area where Thomas is our expert when it comes to this, is how you can take the data from Stratusphere using our API, and you can push it out and make really detailed reporting utilizing something like Power BI. And when we've seen, so you kind of don't just have the text data, you can do it graphically and kind of present it to your management team or whatever, and give us kind of graphical insights. And that's just one of our kind of integrations is around Power BI.
James, just jumping in the opportunity here, as you have those different reports. Last time when we had our deliver DEX with Thomas, we were talking about FlexApp, and so you were just showing the list of different reports, and there's a report which is App Strategy, and this report can definitely help also, or those reports can definitely help the administrator and the IT services to understand what are the application you can easily package and deliver with FlexUp and FlexUp One. And so really helping the management of the master images and the different application you need to upgrade time to time. So the Stratusphere tool is really a complete tool in terms of understanding the customer and the user environment in that sense. Just
Yeah.
my sense here.
Absolutely. And you know, we could do a 3-hour webinar on Stratusphere. There is so
Clearly.
much, and we're only kind of touching the surface of it. And if you got someone like, you know, if we got someone like Chris Walker on, he could talk for the entire day about what Stratusphere can do, because Chris, for anyone on the webinar, is our SME for Stratusphere and knows everything and everything. I'm just doing the overview for a really kind of detailed deep dive on it. You know, that's where Chris comes in, it or the likes of Pierre or Thomas who would have that kind of. But like, yeah,
Yep.
I think that's the thing about Stratusphere, which I think even I sometimes can't comprehend, is how much data it can gather and display. And what we've tried to do with the new kind of layout is simplify that so you can find that data quicker, you can customize it, and you can kind of output it to wherever you want. You know, our API builder is very simple. You can get up and running and output it to wherever you need it to be, you know, Power BI being one of the most popular. But all of that data is there, and the whole thing around where we're going with Stratusphere is kind of, we've always known the data is there, but just making it that more user friendly and more customizable to kind of, you know, I want that DEX detailed overview every day so I can save that kind of thing. So this is very much what Stratusphere 6.7 is focused on. So
that's clearly a great added value and perfect UI and the perfect connection then with all the archives. You can keep all the information, all the trending you can view, and then having that link with command control that you will show us in a few. That's really the power of Liquidware, and the great thing for administrator to manage their environment and take action when needed.
Yeah. All right. So let's go back into diagnostics. We've got this machine here, and I think I've talked enough about command control. Let's show you. So we are in what's called our individual views, individual view within Stratusphere. And I'm going, oh, okay, I've looked at this, but I'd like to kind of see what's really going on with this machine. So I simply click this real-time button. And oh, of course, bear with me 1 second. So we do have two-factor authentication built into command control. So it's not going to let me in unless I enter my one-time code. So just give me 1 second. And it's just pulling in the data, as I said. Now, this is real-time data from, yes. Okay, we're in. So firstly, what you can see is what I said about the sidebar. You know, Stratusphere and command control very much in the future will be very similar in terms of the sidebar. So what we've got here is we're now in command control. This has, you know, all of your kind of system information. You've got your location, you can see on a map. And what it does is it takes all that kind of, it's refreshing this every 3 seconds, which is pretty cool. And you're getting kind of your CPU, your RAM consumers, even your display protocol. So you can see, you know, this is running, machine is running RDP, and you can see the protocol Scroll down even further, I can see the GPU, I can see disk, Ethernet. So I can see what session's currently on it. Now, so what we're going to do here is if I click on our task manager view, so I can go into kind of a process overview, and that kind of gives you all the processes running on them. But you can see here, I've got a bunch of processes, and I'm like, okay, well, what is this? Okay, so one of the really cool things about command control is it's integrated with ChatGPT. So you can say this VMware, or yeah, say this VMware one, you can click on this and it goes and starts querying. So yeah, here it tells you it straight away. It's told you what is this process, who's the manufacturer, and what's it done. I've not left this screen. I am still in command control. I've not gone off to the internet and had to do some detailed search, potentially taking me some web page which has got malware built into it, and all that kind of thing. I've done this all within the console, and it's given me a look at that process, and I can determine if this is a safe process or this is a rogue process. Again, I've got all that kind of information, and then I just click off it, and then what I can do is I can terminate that process if I want. There's no issue there at all. I can terminate that, and I have that same kind of level. I've got a list of all the services running on the machine. I can stop that. I can restart it. I can even disable that service. And one of the things, the way we built command control is it's very much focused on kind of not interrupting your user. So it's all about that, again, that employee experience, and kind of the last resort is that you initiate a remote session. You should be able to do everything in the background without kind of interrupting the user, whether it's, looking at processes, services, you can even look at performance, CPU, memory. But if I go back to that machine now, go back to that. So also what we can do is we can run a series of diagnostics. So if I go in here, click on diagnostics, we have several diagnostics built in. We can do a speed test. We can, do a ping. We can look at group policy. We can we can gather event logs. So what we can do is this is a new feature in Command Control 1.1 is you can say, okay, gather the application log for this machine, run a speed test. So I'll just run a speed test here. So it starts doing a ping, getting all the kind of factors affecting the speed on this machine. So again, you can see it's doing a downloads, normal kind of speed tests built in, and it's just testing what my download speed and my upload speed is. And then it's got my latency as well, the location. So you can initiate all these kind of diagnostics to again help with that the kind of determination of issues. But you're probably going, well, that's all very well and good, but what if I want to do something? Well, we have this. We have our shell. So this initiates a PowerShell session to the machine. So again, it's secured as you would want it to be, because you are basically getting full PowerShell access to this machine. That's just doing a connection. And there I am in PowerShell. I can run any PowerShell script I want against that machine. So if you wanted to run to determine, whatever you want to do around PowerShell, you can do that. So I'm just going to move that out of my way. So that's where we kind of have that kind of remediation element. Is obviously I've showed you how you can do your processes. You can look at services, and you can disable, you can all that kind of stuff. And then obviously with our kind of PowerShell integration, you can then go deeper and do different things with, run scripts, push files, whatever you want to do from PowerShell. Again, you haven't initiated the user you haven't initiated the user saying, oh, I'm going to interrupt you. This can all be done in the background. And it's all about that kind of proactive remediation. And, hence we talk about real-time remediation because you can do it all real time through the console. So other things. So we've talked about this is all real time. So if I go back to my dashboard overview, we've got a real-time overview. But what we have built in is we can have a historical look. So as you can see, what we do is we gather data for up to 7 days. So you can then drill down over those 7 days, and you can have a look if there's any incidents. So say if I clicked on that, well, obviously I've picked the machine which is performing brilliantly, but you can kind of drill down into this even further. And then you have this kind of what we call this DVR playback. And you can kind of push this along and say, okay, will it happen at like 2:10 a.m.? So go to there. And what happens is the metrics all change to reflect what was going on that particular time. And then I can pause that if I want and then look at everything on there. And again, all of the kind of things like the ChatGPT integration, that works in our historical mode. And then to exit that, I just simply hit the real-time button and it then brings me back in.
James,
Yes.
if we were talking about mobile device management, how would we compare? How different are we from for example, someone looking for Microsoft Intune and to manage his environment and having multiple tenants in his environment? What would be the added value to use command control and linked to Stratusphere for him?
Well, I suppose kind of the advantages you have with command control is kind of, you've got that kind of whole remediation and that kind of overview. You also have we have full multi-tenancy support, so you can support different environments. But the thing is, you're getting those real-time insights. So as I said, the metrics are refreshed every 3 seconds. You can see them on screen. They're refreshing constantly. So
Yep.
that immediate insight into everything going on. And in fairness, I've looked at Intune and I did a video and we can share it as I used Intune for Windows 365, and then I did a comparison between it and command control, and the level of detail you get from command control I think is it's very hard to compare the two because you do get so much information and have the ability to kind of determine and do have that kind of interaction and remediation that I don't think you get in something like Intune.
Probably. Then, well, if you have this video, I'm not sure. I've seen it on our blog. Probably that's on our YouTube channel. But if that's something you could send me, then I'm gonna be able to add it on the presentation, the PowerPoint that we will share with all our
Yeah.
attendees, and that would be great for
Yeah,
understanding of
absolutely.
the
Yeah.
product.
I've kind of just got one final thing I wanted to show. So, I was talking about this, the whole thing I've been talking about is this kind of work from anywhere scenario. So what we've got here is what we have here is our, let's say this is for this example, this is our cloud VDI host. I want to see a comparison. I would like to see what's going on with the endpoint. Well, firstly, what endpoint is it? How do I determine that? Well, we've got this, what we call our switch functionality here. So if I click on this, I think it's going to ask me for, no, bring it up. Oh yeah, it was going to do that. So as you can see, security is very much a major thing in command control. And if you do come out of the main kind of session, whether it be to launch the scripting command prompt or another window for utilizing switch, we do have we do have two-factor authentication enabled. So continue. Let's just give it a second. So what that's done straight away is it is identified that this is the endpoint that the user is utilizing to access that particular cloud VDI host. So we've created an association because there's an agent on each side. There's an association between the two, and we can do that side-by-side comparison. So here I've got my cloud VDI host, and then here I have my my endpoint. So I haven't had to search anywhere and determine what that endpoint is. I've simply used our switch functionality, and then it's brought me in and it's given me all the same kind of level of metrics that I had on my VDI host for the endpoint. So again, you know, I don't know of any other solution that has this functionality, but it's so useful for troubleshooting if you think about it, because you're always going, oh, which you know, cloud VDI or DAS server are they attached to, on what endpoint? Click of a button, and I've shown you what they have, and as I said, again, all about that kind of really reducing that time to resolution, and the whole troubleshooting process. So that has been a brief overview of how we feel we help in the DEX space around the monitoring and remediation of digital employee experience. So I just give me 1 second here. I want to go back to my deck for a minute.
And while you're searching for your deck, James, so if we were considering that we have 3 different domains, for example, Microsoft domains, so that is something you mentioned, the different tenants, but that is something we can clearly manage in one console.
Yes, yeah. Hold on. Yes, you can. Bear with me 1 sec. Let me go back.
Yeah, sorry. I was
no.
That's my Swiss part where we are.
No, it's fine. So here I have there. Simple as that.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
There's all the tenants I have access to, and I can easily click on another one. I won't do it because it mess things up.
Yeah,
but
no worries.
this is how easy it is to switch tenant. Is obviously the thing to mention is you have to be a member of those other tenants, or else you can't get access. But one final thing to do there is I've talked about security. We have full kind of role-based access control built into command control. So what you've seen here is a very powerful solution. So maybe you don't want your first level help desk with access to the scripting window. So you can prevent that access. We actually have a predefined role built in here for help desk, and you can see all the permissions there, but they can be altered. You can actually copy that as well. As you can see, kind of in that kind of dashboard, you've when something lights up, like here, so this is a memory threshold has been hit. But what you can do within our triggers is we have a list of all the kind of different triggers, and then you can copy those and create customized triggers to suit your environment. And yeah, so just let me, I think that's kind of, as I said, security is always is a focus of command control because it's such a powerful solution and you have the ability to do so much with it. So let me just switch back to my presentation. Where are we going? Yeah. So Liquidware, one of my other roles at Liquidware, as well as being a product marketing manager, is I run community for Liquidware. Liquidware are very much about sharing information, having that kind of interaction with the community. So we have our own community. There is a QR code on screen there. You can go and sign up to our community. The amazing thing about our community is it gives you access to everyone at Liquidware. And when I say everyone, I mean everyone, all the way up to our CEO, David Benjamin. David answers questions on our community. Jason Maddox, I think, is the top person answering questions on our community, and he's our CTO. So where there's no kind of everyone contributes at Liquidware to our community, and is readily accessible and willing to kind of help people. So what I would say is, if it's a single kind of issue that you've got and it's specific to you, probably a support ticket. But if it's some sort of general issue that you think could be beneficial to other people, share it on community, and within the space of, I would say, a couple of hours, generally less than a day, you will get a response from, there's always someone on there, and we get back to you. Or if you just got a question, or want to know a bit more, or where resources are or something like that, pop it in community. I'm on there a lot. All our SMEs for our products are on there. So it's kind of it's a really good way of interacting with us, and kind of also meeting all the other people in the community. I think, so that's just one thing. What else have I got? So we've talked about, Pierre mentioned before, we have our product Flex App. Well, what we now have is we have full integration with Citrix DAS Web Studio. And we have a webinar next week. Here's the registration link. I will send all this to Pierre so he can share with you as well. But this is kind of Jason Smith, who is our VP of Product Marketing and Alliances, Johnny Ma, who's our one of our Flex App SMEs, and then we have a product manager from Citrix as well. And they're going to be talking about how this all came together. We're really proud of this. This is a huge step forward that Liquidware is now integrated into Citrix. So I suggest, if you've got a Citrix environment and you have Liquidware, this is a really good webinar to register for. Anything?
Yes.
And that's it.
There's one last question I would like to answer, to have an answer, or if you could show us, is it possible to go back in the command control UI, and so just to load some machines in one tenant, and then just move to another tenant to show the different machines you have in there, just to show if that's something.
I don't know. A lot of the tenants I have here are test tenants and mightn't actually have a machine. No, they don't.
All right.
Yeah, or they're
No
deactivated.
Okay,
but yes,
well,
yeah. Like one thing I didn't show.
Just kind of a switching from one to the other.
It's just a switch.
Yeah.
But sorry, just a kind of, one of the things I didn't do was, we have a kind of a machine overview. So it's showing the license, the name. And this is the great thing. It shows the domain.
Perfect. That is
and
perfect.
Then
it's certainly giving the right view.
Exactly. And I think this is quite a good one as well. It tells you the agent version, so you always know if it's running the latest version of the agent, and that's obviously helps when you're talking to support. But yeah,
that's excellent. That's excellent.
Yeah.
So
I was going to ask a question. I'm sure people will be asking about this. So the agent, it's the same agent, or you only need the Stratusphere agent?
No, unfortunately they are not, as of yet. They are not combined agents. They are separate agents, because while we have the integration with Stratusphere, we've seen some customers that have just need that kind of real-time remediation, so just command control. So will we have a combined agent in the future? Potentially we will, especially as we build in more integrations between the two solutions. And I just wanted to, I've got one more thing I wanted to share. Where's it gone? Come back to me. Share. Hold on. Bear me 1 second.
While you're looking for that, I mean, I remember one use case. I don't know if you remember this, Pierre, but there's a client that we were able to save a ton of money in unused licenses. So that was a great use case for Stratusphere, where we're able to identify any application on the
which is not
in the workspace, and then like you can just get rid of those licenses, and that's sometimes that covers the cost for for Liquidware
license. And also, as you were talking about migration Windows 10 to Windows 11, in the different reports and the library James mentioned, There's a report performance comparison, but also kind of creating a baseline between what you have at the moment, what's the performance at the moment, what's the DEX you have for your end user. And when you're moving to the next platform, to the next OS, then you can compare side by side and have a real view of what's the performance. And then you can act, or you can take action also from command control if you need to modify anything in the behavior or in what's happening in this environment. So clearly, the mix of both solution is a great added value, and that's something we are really pushing and having the development of the product in that direction. And the flexibility today, as James mentioned, just to go a bit further on how you host the product, and probably also why we have two different agents at the moment. So Stratusphere is an on-prem solution. You can host it in the cloud, but it's not a SaaS product. And Command Control, it is only a SaaS product. So that's also just to differentiate the two products in terms of how you will install it and how you will get it, and how you will you can use it from the perspective, or from your own perspective as an administrator or as a customer. James, you wanted to add a few words.
Just one last thing. So if you want to test out Command Control, we have a free community edition. You can sign up. You get a license for up to like 5 machines, so you can play around with it, or you can use it for, if you're like me, your family's IT manager, you can do that kind of thing. So QR code is on screen. You can get it. You can start playing around with it. It's really easy to get up and running with, I'd say 10, 15 minutes maximum. Download the agent onto a machine. You've got like you'll have an ID from the tenant. You add that into the agent, and away you go. If you've got any questions about it, you can post them on community, as I said. We also have docs.liquidware.com, which has got detailed overviews of how you do everything within all of our solutions, whether that's Stratusphere, Command Control, Profile, Unity, Flex App. So that's everything. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who attended. Thanks for all the questions. I thought it was a really great overview, and thank you to our partner DeXLogics as well, and to Pierre and Thomas. So that's it from me. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, James, for your presentation and the workflow. On my side, I'd like just to share one more thing for today. Is well, James showed a few slides, shared a few QR codes. I shared the first one at the beginning of the session. I want to share last one. So please read the blog, test, check what you can have with Command Control or different products. And so do not hesitate to go there. Keep in mind that it's the second webinar we have in our DEX journey. There will be a third one, a fourth one, most probably. So Thomas will certainly also be in that call, in that next webinar. And probably we're going to talk about Power BI and what's the power to integrate and to get your data from Stratusphere into the Power BI report, and all what you can show in terms of layout and details using also the Power BI. On my side, I would like to thank everyone who attends the session. I'd like to thank again DeXLogics, Omar, Nadir, James from Liquidware. Thomas, I don't know if you have anything you want to add to the session.
No, it's been awesome. Thank you guys for the time, and can't wait for the next one.
That's great. Omar, the stage is yours. If you have anything else to add, I will send the PowerPoint presentation to DeXLogics, to Omar, and then it's going to be available for all the attendees.
Yeah, and nothing more to say. Although, as James said, we could talk about, what these products do for hours. I mean, the beauty about Liquidware is they do so much. but they make it simple. So that's where I want to ask those that have more questions or want to dive deeper into it. We're happy to do one-on-one sessions. So if you want to dive a little bit deeper into these technologies, do let us know, and we can go into your use case and show you how you can benefit. There's a lot of success stories, like I said, avoiding apps that are not used, and really being able to dissect what's happening in the user environment. Users are always blaming Citrix, or they're blaming their internet at home, and being that everybody is so dispersed nowadays, it's almost it's a headache for IT departments. So I'm sure every IT department has certain pet peeves and issues that they're facing. So we could definitely have a call and discuss that more about your environment specifically. But I do want to thank our friends at Liquidware. This was a great introductory session. Command and Control looks amazing, and it's cool to see the community edition. I don't see why anyone would want to try that. So please, do try that. And again, thank you very much, James and Tom and Pierre, as usual, for your support.
Thanks a lot to you, Omar, to Nadir, to DeestiLogics for promoting our product, helping us on the Middle East market, and so that's a great collaboration. So once again, thanks to you all, and hopefully we'll meet you again in our next session about DEX journey.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Everyone have
Thanks,
a good day.
everyone.
And thank you to the attendees for your time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.